Now this year I've been able to test and use a wide variety of gear items out on my backpacking trips, but I wanted to select my top 5 best, most trusted, most enjoyable pieces of gear that I've used for my backpacking this year. Now, keep in mind, these types of lists are very subjective, and there's a good chance that you disagree with what I've selected, or you feel like there are things missing, and that's okay. Let's jump into item number 1. All right, my favorite tent from 2023 is the Dipole from Tarp Tent. This is the Dipole 1 DW, but I'm also including the Dipole 1 Lithium, which is the Dyneema version of this tent. And there's a few things that I really enjoy about the Dipole. The first is the fact that you've got a really small footprint for a one-person sized tent that also has a large amount of living space inside of the tent. You've got a cool hourglass shaped floor that provides a lot of space at the head end and the foot end for you to put gear and such. You've got 2 doors and 2 vestibules. And for this DW version, which stands for double wall, you get a double wall trekking pole or non-freestanding tent here that is also under 1,000 grams of weight. It sets up really easy. It's got all of the features that you want for a storm-worthy tent. I've had this out in some pretty intense rain, and the 20 denier polyester fly fabric has handled that rain super well. It is very stable in heavy winds. In this version here is also at a really approachable price point of about $300, give or take a few dollars, depending on some options that you can choose from. You just have a kind of unique but also traditional A-shaped design here, and because of the struts at the head end and the foot ends of the tent, you elevate those walls at those ends and it provides more living space. It makes it so that you're not getting condensation transferring onto your gear. It just makes for a really enjoyable experience. Now let's talk about my favorite sleeping pad from 2023, which is the updated Tensor series from Nemo Equipment. For 20 or so nights this year, I've been using the all-season version of the updated Tensor, which is actually not available until spring of 2024. I've been using a pre-production sample from Nemo to get field time with it and provide feedback to them, and they actually ended up asking for that pad back so that they could do their own testing of the pad after I had some time with it in the field. But 20 or so nights in all sorts of different weather conditions have given me enough experience with it to know that it's an incredible, incredible pad and a nice update from the previous generation of the Tensor. So what I have here, this is the extreme conditions model that has the 8.5 R value. So this is a winter cold weather pad. What I will say though, critically speaking of the all season and just the Tensor in general, is it's not the most comfortable sleeping pad that I've ever used. I really love the comfort from the Zoom UL, but the Zoom UL from Big Agnes has one big flaw, and that is that pad does not sleep as warm as the R value claims. It's a 4.4 R value, and that is absolutely bonkers. What I have loved about using the all season from the Tensor is that I'm getting consistently warm sleep on that pad. It's still comfortable enough that the warmth and the comfort together makes it an incredible pad. They've also updated the valve on the Tensor, which is a way better valve. It's very lightweight, and it's seriously a really, really good update. And I look forward to getting my hands on another all season come the spring when it's released. But until that time, we're using the extreme conditions during the winter months here to make sure that I stay nice and warm and comfortable out on my backpacking through the winter season. Now I've got 3 pieces of gear that are my favorite things when it comes to backpacking: tents, sleeping pads, and third is sleeping bags. And my favorite sleeping bag from 2023 is this guy here, the Cumulus Teneka 700 down sleeping bag. So this year I was in the market for a new cold weather sleeping bag that I could use from October until March of the next year and just have one option to cover me for all of those cold weather trips that I would be going on. And I found the Teneka 700, and I've just been blown away at how awesome this bag is. Performance-wise, it sleeps very warm. But what you've got is 700 grams of down fill in here, which is an 850 fill power down. And this bag is built from the ground up to be a cold weather sleeping bag. So you've got a much wider girth through the shoulders on here that makes it possible when things get really cold for you to be able to layer up and wear some additional insulation on your body when you're sleeping in here for much colder temperatures. You've got a full length zipper that makes it really easy to get in and out of the bag. You've got double draft collars or draft tubes along the zipper to ensure that you're trapping all of the heat into the bag when you're inside of it. You've got a draft collar here at the top around your neck that is a cinch as well. It's a nice shaped hood. The foot box is what they call a shark fin design, so it's really comfortable, doesn't create any compression down on your toes. And then another smart thing that they've done, it's easier to show on this side, is they put additional horizontal baffles on the side of the bag here to make it even warmer. Oftentimes the baffles come across all the way from the bottom and the top and they connect. But this additional baffle here on the side just makes it so you have more down in that spot. So you are getting a much warmer sleep experience from this bag. But the really standout thing for me with Cumulus is the price point of this is just over $400. But this is a fully customizable sleeping bag as well. So I actually put 50 grams of additional down inside of the bag here, but you can choose all sorts of things like zipper length, the size of the zipper being a number 5 or a number 3. You can adjust how much down is on top, how much down is on bottom, and just a whole bunch of other things that Cumulus provides. Now, you are gonna pay for those customizations, but the fact that there's a company out there that provides a fully customizable sleeping bag is a huge, huge thing for me. That's my favorite sleeping bag, the Teneka 700 from Cumulus. Now, of all the gear that I could have chosen for this list, I want to actually talk about my favorite hiking shoes of 2023, the Danner Trail 2650. Now, this is a shoe I've been wearing for several years now, but it's become my go-to for every single hike and backpacking trip that I go on. Got a couple different options here. This is the Gore-Tex mid-height, and then this is the mesh version. And I've also used just the classic leather upper as well. And for the past couple years of using this shoe, what I have very much enjoyed is the shape of the shoe and the support that it provides for my foot shape. I've got small, narrow, tiny feet. And prior to using the Danner, I'd been wearing several different models of La Sportiva, and I wanted to try something different. So I put this on, checked it out, and was like, whoa, that is a fantastic fit. And it's not necessarily a trail runner, but more so a light hiker. So it's a bit more supportive for me and my foot size, which I found that having my small feet, I want something that feels really supportive and isn't sloppy on my foot. And sometimes trail runners are a bit too soft. So I've enjoyed the Danner for that reason. And this shoe right here has been what I've worn all of 2023. It's got several hundred miles on it, and it's still in pretty good shape. I'm impressed with the way that this has held itself together. It's not falling apart. I just love it. So the Danner Trail 2650, if you're in the market for shoes, I would definitely say check it out. But do keep in mind that shoes are very personal and you need to find what fits your foot. So I'm not gonna say this is the best shoe for everybody, but it's absolutely a great option and worth checking out. So a big part of this video today is talking about the gear that is the most trusted gear for my backpacking in 2023. So I gotta talk about the Zoleo satellite communication device. I am an ambassador for Zoleo, so understand the bias that I'm sharing being an ambassador, but I'm also coming from 4 years or almost 4 years of consistent use with this device. I have used it literally on every single hiking, backpacking, and camping trip since February of 2020. I love the user experience of the Zoleo and just the fact that the people that are behind Zoleo continue to work on providing a positive user experience and continually update with more features that make your investment into the device absolutely worth it. For example, this year they released a service called Medical Assist that's available on all Zoleo plans, but what it provides is access to medical professionals. So when you've got a situation that is a medical thing, like you got a burn on your hand from cooking, or you sprained your ankle, or something that doesn't necessarily mean I need to call out search and rescue through the SOS button, I can text back and forth with a medical professional and get answers to questions of what might be taking place at that time. And they may even tell you, yeah, you should call SOS, or here are things that you can do. What have you got from your first aid kit? Do this XYZ. And that is a service that is now available on Zoleo's device, which is really, really cool. I love texting back and forth with my wife, checking in on my kids, seeing how things are going on at home when I'm out on my trips. I love the reliability and the consistency of the Zoleo satellite communicator. Well, there you go. That is my list of the best and most trusted pieces of gear that I've used for my backpacking in 2023. Let me know down in the comments what has been your favorite pieces of gear that you've used in 2023. I hope you guys have an awesome new year. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.